Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to episode number 9 of the Arabic Qahwa Podcast. Most of us want to learn Arabic, but we are not full-time students. We have other commitments. We have a full-time job. And we want to use the free time that we have to try and learn Arabic, memorize the Quran, acquire new skills. And I want to tell people who have these kinds of goals that learning Arabic in your free time, when you have a busy schedule, when you have a full-time job, is not an easy matter. You need to spend a lot of time. You need to be very regular, and you have to keep at it. It takes a lot of determination. Now, there are some things that stop a lot of people from achieving meaningful results. You know, if you want to see what kind of results you're going to get over the period of a year, what you really need to do is look at how you spend each and every day. You should look at your daily habits. If you boil it down to this, if you look at how you're spending each and every day, what are the things that you're doing regularly, how much time you're utilizing, this is going to tell you what you're going to achieve over the period of a year and a half, in 2 years. So, managing your everyday is going to make the difference between success and failure when it comes to your language goals. Now, when you look at how most people spend their day, their free time, it's very alarming. You know, there was this study done on how much time people spend watching TV and consuming other media just for entertainment. And the study says that on average, when they took the worldwide average, a person spends around 175 minutes watching TV. Subhanallah. Now, I want to put this in perspective. 175 minutes a day is going to translate to about 1,000 hours a year. Think about this. 1,000 hours where you spend this time for entertainment and you're not acquiring any meaningful skill out of this time. And to put this into perspective, I want to show you some of the things that you can achieve in 1,000 hours. This is 1 year of giving up TV or Netflix or whatever you're watching, however you are wasting your free time. According to experts, you can attain basic fluency in a language in about 720 hours of study. And this is the estimate for languages which they classify as difficult. And Arabic is one of those languages. So to attain basic fluency, where you're able to communicate in the language, you're able to understand, it just takes about 720 hours of study and practice. So in less than 1,000 hours, you can easily achieve fluency in Arabic. And if you have a strong foundation already, you can take your Arabic to the next level. You can attain mastery in the Arabic language. You can use this time to memorize the Quran, to become a Hafiz. So I did some estimates on how much time it takes a person to memorize the Quran, and not just memorize it for namesake, but to really become a mutqin, to master the Quran in as far as memorization is concerned. So the way I calculated is, on average, with a bit of practice, you can easily start memorizing one page in about an hour. And to really memorize and then revise this page, you need to spend another 2 hours. So with 3 hours, you can memorize a page of the Quran very well. So if you do the math, this translates to about 1,800 hours roughly, which you need to memorize the Quran in a very, very proper way. Now this of course varies from person to person. Some people can memorize the Quran with far lesser time. Some people might take longer, but on average, if you spend 1,800 hours of your life with the Quran, you can become a hafiz. Now this is something that takes a lot of dedication to memorize the Quran. It's very taxing. It's not going to be easy. This 1 hour you spend or 2 hours you spend daily, it's going to be a difficult time. It takes effort, but look at the benefits you can achieve out of this. So to be realistic, to be practical, I understand that if someone is addicted to watching TV or watching Netflix or any other habit that is taking away his time, it is not so easy to stop doing it very quickly. If you decide to stop watching Netflix today, you probably might go back to watching it again in a few days, if you're like me and if you're like most people. If you have the motivation to leave it, then this is something very, very beneficial that you can do. But if you're like most people, what I suggest is a more moderate approach. What you need to do is try and find an alternative to watching TV or watching Netflix, or try and replace this habit with something else that is beneficial and not as harmful. The problem with these forms of entertainment, Netflix for example, is that it's very addictive, and people end up spending more time they intended to most of the time. Now, the CFO of Netflix, his name is David Wells, he announced in 2018 that they were planning to put out 700 new original series. They're going to produce 700 new shows in just a year. And how many they produce, I'm not sure. But this is the kind of demand there is. People are watching billions of minutes, consuming this media, and sadly they are wasting this time. So, to fight this addiction, you need to find some other form of mild entertainment, which is not so strenuous, and at the same time, which is beneficial. So you can take advantage of this time and slowly start making this time productive. And a great way to replace TV and movies and streaming services is to turn to books. There are so many types of books. There are fiction books, there are non-fiction books, there are, if you can understand a bit of Arabic, there are so many beautiful and beneficial books in Arabic, which will give you a lot of knowledge and at the same time take your language to the next step. And if you find reading books strenuous, if you find that you can't spend so much time learning books, if you find that it is hard for you to keep reading books for a long time, something I really love are the audiobooks apps. Get an Audible subscription. If you don't know what that is, it is a service by Amazon where they have almost any book as an audiobook with very good narration, with very good quality production. So if you get a subscription to this, it can be very enjoyable to listen to all these great audiobooks. And unlike the TV shows, the books, they are beneficial. They expand your perspective. It increases the vocabulary. And, I think it is agreed upon that reading books are a lot more productive than watching TV. So, choose something like this that entertains you, but it does not waste away all your time. And books are not as addictive as, audiobooks are not as addictive as these TV shows. You can read for an hour and stop. You're not going to be so addicted. Some books are, but, it is a lot easier to manage. So once you find a replacement, you'll find it easier to, spend more time productively. Set a time for, listening to these books. Listen to it when you're driving. And I want to share with you a really good app in Arabic where they have a lot of Arabic audiobooks, and they have some very good Islamic books as well. It's called Kitab Sauti on Android and iPhone. You can just download this app and listen to a lot of great books in Arabic with narration. So this is something you can just do when you're driving, when you're exercising, on your daily commute. And this is something I think is very productive. This time that you normally waste, you can use it to learn something and to acquire knowledge. So this is something I wanted to share with you, and let me know if you find this productive. If you have some other thoughts, I would like to know as well, and I hope you benefited from this, and I will see you in the next episode, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.